There we go. Should be all set to go now. We're gonna actually try to get this done properly. So, for I know at least Tyler here was there for the original stream, which was the Patreon only stream that I did, where we ended up having a bit of a kerfuffle with the rail cleaner. So we're gonna tackle this one down. Hello, Bosco. Welcome to the stream. Now, the main difference between last time and this time is Domachevsky was kind enough to start selling hardware kits for the rail cleaner. So I'll have to make sure I get that linked in the description at some point. Probably after the stream, I'll make sure I throw that in there. So if you're looking for links to the files or anything, I'll have to throw that in at the end of the stream. That's my bad. But yeah, so now there is an actual hardware kit for it. He has options for getting it with or without motors. The other thing that ended up delaying me was waiting for these wheels to arrive. These on camera. These are Delrin wheels I got from Fetwurst. So these will be much nicer than the ABS ones that I printed. So I'm excited to use these. And we'll be running it off of some Merlin motors. All right, no more delaying. Here we go. This blaster's been hanging over my head for a while now, so it's just no. Let's see, I will need the soldering iron right off the bat. Oh, and one of the things is like I'm going to attempt to use my original plates. The insides are a little rough because that's where all the support was to print it this way to get that nice gold top. I'm going to try to use it. If it doesn't end up working, I have another one ready. This one also gave me a little bit of trouble printing for some reason. It was very stringy. So it's still a lot nicer on the inside than this one. So, but I really want to try to use it to keep that fanciness going. So if this doesn't work, we've got backups. So let me find literally like the very first step in the whole process. And I couldn't even complete that because the screws I had were just not the right screws for it. Hopefully he didn't update the files too much because these are the original files that I printed out last time. So I've kept all the pieces, trying to keep them safe. So hopefully I haven't misplaced any. Probably could have checked that before the stream, but you know, wing it. So I need this one. Anyone care for a Duplo suitcase? That would be my son's. Here. Yeah, this is the screw that I had that was not the there. Okay. Oh, I'm looking at the old stream, that's why I'm thrown off. Oh, the rail cleaner is very nice, and I was very excited to build it. I just goofed myself with the first one with not having the proper hardware for it. So I might have to grab some. There's only one screw hole that I might have to throw some glue in to help hold the screw in place. And that was the one that ended up giving me problems. Actually, it might be these two. But we'll see. Like I said, I really want to use these original pieces because they turned out so nice in the printing, or at least on the outside. Anyway. All right. See, I wouldn't know anything about I've actually never played Fallout, any of them. Just not something I ever did. All right, so honestly, the instructions he's got are very nice. So I'll give him that. These are some nice instructions. Main circuit. This one. Like all the wires are pre-cut. Dang, this is my first time like actually pulling out all the pieces. So I'm just I'm very impressed by the quality of the hardware. So, see you around, Tyler. Thank you again for being a patron. Really appreciate that. Man, there's some of the stuff that like I have no idea what I'm doing with. So some of these electronic bits are going to be a new experience for me. So we'll see how that goes. Let me grab the Switch first. And then I love how everything is bagged so nicely. So I promise my laptop is on that side, so I gotta make sure that this stays on screen. So I'm gonna try to make this the kind of build log for which I don't like honestly for as far as it's probably that's I wonder if that might help. I wonder if I should move if I move me over here, the instructions over here. I don't know if that make it a little bit easier to see. So I'm trying to figure out the best angle for this. Actually, if I can put that, I can leave. Yeah. All right, there we go. That might be too bad. So if I do it, trying to find the right. Okay. I was trying to find my spot. Make that a little smaller. Trying to find the right spot for it so I can properly show you guys everything. So, all right, there we go. All right. So I need this piece. No, not that piece. Actually, yeah, I think I have the wrong piece. Let me go back to my. Nerf blasters. I honestly, I don't have a whole. I have a lot of 3D printed blasters. I do not have many official Nerf blasters at all. I really just don't use Nerf blasters anymore. I just don't really have a reason to. Because for the events I play, like, yeah, there's stock rounds at Southern Maryland where I play, but I don't know. I'm just way more interested in 3D printed blasters than I am the Nerf blasters. All right, so I need 2 degrees, so 3 by 20 millimeter. Should be these guys. I might have to grab my screwdriver too as well. That might make this a little bit easier. Yeah, like this is a very nicely labeled building instructions. Like, I'm impressed. This is also, I'm going to, these are different heads than I'm used to. If you couldn't tell by the name, Domachevsky is not U.S. native. Or native to the U.S. So some of this hardware is going to be unique. So Phillips head seems to be working for now. So we will make that work to the best of our ability. I'm going to turn that away from the screen for a second, just so I can. I'm just worried about stripping these out. It's pretty good though. Alright, so I've mounted in the switch. So this is for the trigger, or for the flywheel. Oh, okay, so that'll be when you pull back on the, okay. Next I need the piece here, because this gets a 3 by 12, which is this one. So, Domachevsky can yell at me for using the wrong screwdriver. Again, I was briefly looking at them, I thought they were Phillips head, but they are not. I don't know if I have a drill bit small enough for this style anyway. Like, I have drill bits that are this style, but I don't think they're small enough. I'll have to check in a second, because yeah, that'll come in handy. So I'm going to be fighting this to do it by hand. That's nice stuff. It's a very, very nice trigger setup though. So I'm hoping. We'll see. My goal is usually 2 hours. That's usually my goal. We'll see if I actually succeed. Because for some of the more complicated blasters, it tends to take me longer. Okay, yeah, it's this. This is going to be the hole that I'm going to have to actually. I'm going to have to glue that, because when I originally did it, I drilled it out a little bit too wide, and it's going to end up causing me problems for one. Real quick, let me grab my glue. Actually, I'll grab my drill bits as well. Actually, I'll grab my drill bits in a minute. Oy. Just want to get this glue in first. Yeah, having the proper bit, like that's going to be the one thing. You're going to want to make sure you have the proper tools for the job, because I might at least have to grab a smaller screwdriver or something. A smaller Phillips head, because I am slipping all over the place with this one. There we go. Try to make sure not to get it on the actual moving piece. That's do it. Yeah, because that's the thing. You don't want to get it on the moving piece. So that's how it'll thread the flywheel. Now, the only thing I don't know is I'm never good at eyeballing for how long the wires are supposed to be. So I need a 500 and a 200. So basically I need one that's twice the size. So I'm assuming this is the 500. And I'm going to assume that, so I need two 500s and a 200. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to need my soldering iron. This is interesting. Oh, thank you, Bosco. Yep, got to get that battery charged. It doesn't die on you. This is the one interesting thing I'll say so far about the billet is that you're soldering and assembling at the same time. Usually, at least for what I found for most blasters, is you end up building, or you end up doing the soldering first and then the building, or vice versa. Kind of like you end up get most of it together and then you throw in the because with the fly point pistol you can kind of get everything into place, wire everything up at once. This is going to be a little bit more tricky, and again, I am very bad at eyeballing wire sizes. It's also a very interesting wire. So I need two that are the same length, and so I'll assume I'm so bad at this. So that's 5. So I need 2 5. It's weird because like I don't have. Like, that's a long one. Shorter. These are all shorter. Might have to actually grab my. That's a very long one. And these are all for the main system, so I'm assuming it's gonna be hard to say. Like, give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna go grab my drill bits and an extension cord for my soldering iron. Be right back. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Just gonna plug this extension cord in real quick, guys. And then I gotta check my drill bits and see if any of them actually fit. But regardless, I need it for the words. Soldering iron. That's the word. There we go. Alright. Okay. Now, the only thing I didn't grab was the thing to measure with. So, 100. The problem is I need two 500, and I do not have two that are the same size, unless I'm supposed to grab out all the wires. Single copper. Unfortunately, I don't know what that means. You'll have to forgive me for single copper. I'm assuming... I don't even know what to assume. But, alright. Let's plug this in while I figure out. Yeah, I'm going to have to message Damachevsky about that, because I don't know which wire to use. Yes, for those of you following along, if you're going to use this in the future for building one, keep in mind this is mirrored. I wonder if it would be better if it wasn't mirrored, make it a little bit easier, because it's like going to look like, so if you look at it this way, it looks completely backwards. So actually, let me fix that, because I think that'll end up hindering people in the long run, because they'll get confused by it. That. Might have to fix my screen a little bit. It just looks weird that way because the way the angle is, so it might. What do you guys think? Should I keep it where it looks kind of like it's upside down, or should I mirror it, which might cause problems for other people? So, oops. While I'm looking at that, let me grab my bits, see if I have one that's soft. Oh, this one might be. Nah, it's too big. I think that's the smallest one I have. So we're going to have to wing it. Let me see if I have any of my Phillips head that might be small enough for that. They're all kind of... So this is going to be interesting because I do not have the proper tool for something like this, unfortunately. So that might end up causing me problems in the long run. Just trying to see if I can find one close. Yeah. Fortunately, I don't have the right bits for that. There's only two. Alright, so the two longest I got one long wire. I got one. So I was looking for two long wires, but I've only got one long wire. So I might have to throw in my own wire. I'm going to mirror it because I think it looks better this way. So just keep in mind for people that you are watching it mirrored from top to bottom for the best angle. I can try... Actually, let me try something real quick. Let's see if I can flip it. Make sure soldering iron is a good spot. So this is going to be directly in my face, but this might make for a better build video. So, one thing is I'm going to be reaching around it. So, let me go back and put this. If it works, if I can work it like this, it'll be great. We'll just see how much in my way this camera is. So, I shrink myself some more. I'm going to move things around again, make it a little bit. There. Put that there. All right. I might still. All right, welcome, Trip. Appreciate you joining. Now, kind of a last minute decision. All right, so it's a little dark, bit of an awkward angle for me, but hopefully this is at least a little bit better than before. So we will see. So I am currently going on a wire search to try and find another long one. And none of these seem that long. Those aren't long. So I do think I am missing a second long wire, but at least I know how long it needs to be. It needs to be the same length as that one. So, this one. Nope. Find the camera. There it is. That one. Not that helps anybody, but so I am going to grab one of my wires and go from there. Figure it out. Woo! This is why you need to be careful with your soldering iron. Ooh, that's gonna stink. Let's see. Just trying to find wire that's not too thick, so we'll go with this wire. So, if I find it later, great. If not, oh well. I've got wire. It's not the end of the world. Pardon me, my printer needs to be changed to filament, or else it's going to be too noisy. Sorry. I'm not going far, it's just right behind me. This is my mini. If you're following me on Instagram, you'll see the shells I posted today. That is, okay, that's the Boomco one, so light blue. Yeah, so I'm going a little fancy for these new shells that I'm printing for the Sobek. So, multicolored, which requires a little bit more work. That's not the end of the world. Yeah, I hear you. Right. Loading filament. Yes. Uh-oh. That was a goof. Ah, don't do this to me. One second, folks. Be with you in 1 second. There we go. That should fix it. Something like some small printer problems, eh? There we go. Okay. Should be good to go now. Whew. can never just be simple, eh? There we go. Okay. All right. Oh, see if we can get through this past the first page, eh? All right. Oh, I printed the. Oh, I'm printing the 5-shot Boomco one right now. Ah, don't check these finally in. Sweet. No, that one chest is still alive. Anyways, let's continue, shall we? After that long delay, I get my soldering. I'll admit I do need a new soldering iron. That's one thing I have to do. Mine's getting owned. Yeah, that was my bad. The domo is on here, so let me go ahead and add some solder to these pieces. In all reality, I probably should have soldered these pieces on first, or put the solder on this first before putting it inside, just because it would have been a little bit easier for me. Smoking. Go. All right, so the long one is at least I know is what the 500 is. So, man, should have grabbed my helping hands. Oh well, it'll do. We will go without for now. So downstairs, I got to switch between Discord, which is where Domo is talking to me while watching the stream, and then I got to switch between the chat because I'm looking at the instructions. So if I don't see something, that's my apologies. Welcome, Ceiling Cat. Other thing I'm actually out of at the moment is heat shrink. So I'll be using electric tape today. Not as good, but it'll do for now. But for my recommendation for everyone out there is use heat shrink. It's much easier than trying to do it with electric tape. Oh, that's getting very hot. All right. How's the new camera view for everyone? Is that working out for you? So I'm supposed to do this and map this. So I'm assuming that's going that way. So the 200 I'm going to assume is this one. I'm assuming that these are about 100, I would guess. So again, if I mess up, we'll figure it out. Dang, one thing I should have done, I forgot. That's right, because that happened right before that. So let me just cut that real quick before I forget about it. Set the soldering iron down in a safe place. I will admit I will not claim to be an expert in any capacity. I can fumble my way through a build, and the end product tends to be decent. I'm also a little bit lazy when it comes to my own builds. If I'm building something for somebody else, I put a ton of work into it. But if I'm building it for me, I'll take a few shortcuts here and there. Not shortcuts per se, but, you know. Yeah, I guess shortcuts might be the word. So, I'll have to test out those 5 Unco shells and see what I get. Because that is what I'm currently printing. So 200, just gonna go there too. Let me make sure he's not yelling at me. Okay, he is not. So I'm assuming this is the one. Again, if I put the wrong wire in the wrong place, I'm not too worried because I can always go back or cut more wire as I need to, because that's something I have plenty of. But I do appreciate the fact that he does offer, or that in his hardware kit everything is like cut to length, which is fantastic. Nope, I thought you were set. Get back in there. So I would also not claim to be an expert at soldering either. I am good enough, which is why why I only do commissions for springers and not. So I hope you guys can still see that. Like it's crimping. Oh, crimping. That is. Oh. This is why it's important to read the instructions, everyone. I'm supposed to be crimping, which I have not been doing. I've been soldering. I hope that's not a problem. So that's going to be the only one that's going to be annoying to do without my helping hands. So this one might get a little bit out of hand. I usually just put something around it just to make sure that it doesn't go anywhere far. Alright, and then I need this one, which is going to go to the positive. No, wait, no, not that one. This one. This one's going to go to the positive. Again, that's why instructions are important. That would help. Yeah, it's like part of my. I should at least change the tip on this thing eventually at some point. Ooh, just not wanting to work with me today. Make sure this ends up in the right spot. As a solder is the only thing I really didn't want to do on stream, just because it's like I am adequate. I can solder. That does not mean I am good at soldering. So before I do that, again, just make sure. Rubber tubing. Rubber tubing. Oh, he supplied it. Sweet. I know. I'm talking about. You're gonna have to say because it's not in the instructions. Dylan Chesley's telling me I need to add rubber tubing to it. I think he's referring to the heat shrink, which I did not realize he had supplied. Which again, it makes sense. It's just my brain doesn't usually think about it. So this one is going on the positive, so that one's going to go right there. No, that can't be right. This doesn't seem big enough. Rubber tubing. Is this what you're referring to, Donna? Okay. Give him a second to respond to me. It's probably about a 30-second delay or something like that. Oh, about 5-second delay. That's not bad. So, apologize to everyone waiting. Okay, just wanted to make sure. I just don't know. It just doesn't seem like it's gonna. Okay. Okay. So, but yes, I will do that. And make sure it's going into the positive. So I can't tell you how many flywheel blasters I built where I always wire it up backwards and have to go back and like change the positive to the negative. There we go. I'll leave that down there for now. I'm going to use my blue wire here for the. The only thing I would suggest him was maybe color coordinate a little bit. I know you're using the white ones, but at least for like the positive and the negative, it might be helpful to have a different color wire just to help differentiate a little bit. Again, your instructions are nice. It's just I think having a multicolored wire would help a little bit. Yeah, I can understand that. The price is a. He said if he can ever find cheap colored wire in the right gauge, he will. So like that's fair. That's fair. That's, ooh, that was. I did not need to put that much solder on there. All I can say is I hope no soldering masters are watching because I'm probably making them scream. Double check my chat. Make sure that's still going. All right. Put in the negative, and then we will add the heat shrink. See, I was waiting for that. Somebody was going to tell me something that I was doing dumb. Elliot, you'll have to explain to me later what I'm doing wrong. This is why I don't offer flywheel commissions, because I don't trust my own soldering expertise for somebody else. I do. I'm just too lazy to go get them. This is how I used to do it back in the day before I had helping hands. Still okay. I've messed up XT60 connector doing this before. That's the only thing I'm worried about. Yeah, I've had that exact thing happen, which I don't think I've done yet. I'm definitely trying to go a little bit slower with it. Like I have actually done that. That's the only thing I don't like is that you can mess up a XT60 connector. Oh, that's a clever idea. Demo recommended if you have the male and female end of the soldering point, you can actually insert that into the XT6 connector, which will keep it from melting out of place, pretty much. It's hard to tell with these silver on silver. Ooh, that is way too much solder. Again, it's the only issue I have with live streaming the ones where I have to solder. There we go. All right, so I apologize to anybody with who are actually good at soldering. Ooh, so I'm gonna add my negative heat shrink. Again, I'm probably not keeping things on camera very well, am I? There we go. Negative, positive. Get them both into place. There we go. Ouch. A little hot. No, come on. Oh, that's why. Okay, the heat shrink is catching on the XC60 connector. Interesting. Interesting. This is why I usually go up a size in heat shrink when it comes to XC60 connectors, because I find that like if you have issues with the, or if you're like me and you're not great at soldering, but we got it. Hey, look at that. We are done with page 1. So we've got that hooked up. Farthest I made it yet. Been Live streaming for how long? Oh, about 40 minutes. Jeez. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get this one done in 2 hours. All right. But I've at least made it onto the next page. It's progress. All right. Let's make sure my soldering iron doesn't move. All right, let's make sure that goes. Okay, hold on. Make sure the wiring going in the right place. So it's going. Okay, so he's just got it going out there at the moment. All right. So let me start with the handle. Excuse me. 3x12. Oh, and from the outside. Okay. So this is gonna start with getting interesting because I don't have the right tool for screwing these in. Story of my life. See, when I built the Sobek, I didn't have the right drill bit size, so I chopped up an Allen key and put it into my drill. So I need the 3x12, 3x12, 3x12. Here we go. Okay. So yeah, that's the only difficult part. Is wait, 3. Just go on that one. Or that one. Oh, I think it's supposed to go. Oh, they're all supposed to be screwed in from the outside. I gotcha. Okay, I missed that part. Oh, okay. I gotcha. Oh, yeah. So the screws go in from the outside. Just gonna get those set in. I am sorry for this camera angle. I'm just too close is the issue. That should be a little bit better. Okay. So I said I am sorry for that camera angle. It's just I moved back down into the kitchen so I could actually be closer to the router, so I wouldn't have the same issues I had last time. So hence the glass table. Yeah, that I believe. That's the other thing I need to do. Yeah, I do not take soldering advice from me ever. It's just a bad idea. Oh, don't go there. It's okay. Yeah, I think not having the right tools is gonna end up screwing me here. Puns. Like I think that's gonna be causing problems. It's not too bad. Just might have to take it out of camera occasionally to. Yeah, God, not having the right drill bit is really. That's the only thing is I didn't double check what type of screws these were. I briefly looked at them like, oh, those look like Phillips. They are not, and this Phillips head is not going to work. Yeah. Yeah, that's a again big thing with any hardware that you ever buy is like make sure it's right. Yeah, this is gonna. Wiring that is inside? I'm confused. Oh, all the wiring should be on the inside for the rail cleaner. Yeah. This is gonna. Ooh, that was close. So this is driving me crazy. Let me see if I can find a small screwdriver because I think that'll help. Oy. 1 second, everybody. Gonna disappear for a brief second again. Alright. Alright, here's hoping. Oy. Not to trip on the wire here. I don't think so, but I'm not 100% sure positive on whether or not this one has exposed wires. But I don't think so. Yeah, I am. Okay, yeah, so this is all the wires. This is, according to Domachevsky, all the wires are on the inside. Oy. I hate to do this again. But, like, these Phillips screwdrivers are just not going to help, or not going to work. Ugh. This sounds... I got one more method to try. If I can find my pliers. Okay. Alright. Try some pliers. Which, this is not the best way to do it, I can tell you that. But, if it works, it'll function. It's not... I mean, it is. It is complex. It's definitely more complex than the Sobek. Ooh. Which actually didn't take me too terribly long. Only thing... Again, the only thing that I've been running into issues with, especially things designed outside the U.S., is just not having the right hardware. Like that's been the not hardware, not having the right tools. Like for the Sobek, I chopped up an Allen key because at least it used Allen keys. Like these aren't even Allen key screws. These are something else that I do not have the right drill bit for. So I think. Yeah, yeah. Like, and I have some. I have some drill bits that are that style, but they're way too big. Like, I just got a generic one, so like that's just not none of these are going to work. Like my smallest one is still way too big. So this is not ideal. And again, that's not Domachevsky's design. It's not a problem with the design. It's a problem with me not having the right tools. Ugh. Check. Like I'm tempted to just like try to do the wiring and see where I can go from there. And just like maybe get these in most of the way and like tighten them up once I can get the right size Torx bit. Yeah, I can imagine that these would be very prone to stripping. So I am just going to get that as much in as it's going to go for now and come back to that at a later time with the right tools. So, okay. Now I need that piece. So, just somewhere in this bucket. There it is. Alright. Which goes there. Okay, so that's where the 15mm rod. Excuse me. Yeah, I appreciate the offer though, Gyroscope. Appreciate it. Yeah, see, and that's the frustrating thing for me. It's like it's not even an issue of uh, that I can't that I don't have the capability to build it. It's the fact that I don't have the tools, and like that's the only thing preventing me from building it, and like that drives me crazy. Now to figure out which one is 15mm. I'm gonna guess. Okay, so these all look to be about the same size, so that's good at least. So I want to say it's one of those. Thank you, Raja, which hopefully I'll eventually figure out how to say your name. So, yeah, I'm going to assume that this is the 15mm. Take a stab at it. Take a guess. It's one that is shorter than all the others. Let me make sure that I'm not grabbing that one. Aha! That's the short one. Okay. Whew. Whoop. So this should be the 15mm. The smallest one. Okay. So it's there like that, and like that. And now I need... oh, okay, that actually still has support material in it. Ooh, man. So yeah, I apologize for the stream for all I seem to be complaining an awful lot. My apologies. Just what like this project has been hanging over my head for too long. It's not like it's just something I've been trying to build or get built for a while now. It's just been driving me crazy. Where to the wires? I'm assuming the wires are going to go that way. They are not. Nice. Nice. Jessica just messaged me. He's just telling me I'm not going to enjoy this without a proper torque bit. I swear if I have to... Again, this is like the worst part about live streaming builds, is that I look like an idiot half the time. It just goes to show you, I'm not nowhere near a master at modding. Like this, let me just try to at least get some of the soldering done, and at least get that done. See how some of this comes together. Interesting. Yeah, because all this is going to have to be screwed in, which is going to cause a very large problem for me. Especially, like, at least with the externals, I can kind of come back to it. Okay, that's that. Trying to make sure I don't miss any of the wiring. Okay, so that goes out there. There's 2 wires? Oh, yeah. That's right. So this one that goes out that way, and then I need the blue one also goes out that way. So just gonna try to get the wiring done to the best of my ability. I think these actually come up about here. That would make more sense, I think. Ba-da-da-da. Actually, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to solder this either because it goes through other pieces, and then so honestly, I will say that like once you get this together, it's not going to be one that you're going to want to take apart. You are not going to want to take this apart at all. Oh man. Oof. So I am curious, Domachevsky, because he's messaging me on Discord. Uh, as far as like disassembling it and doing repairs on it, what's your thoughts, experience with that? 'Cause, like, that's the only thing I'm looking at this and I'm like, crimp terminals. Aha, that makes sense. Okay, that's a solution. It's crimp terminals, which, yep, that makes sense. That makes absolute sense. These nice fancy Merlin motors. Oh, interesting. Oh, it's just fascinating because it's like they're, yeah, okay. Because usually you see motors that are vertical, not horizontal. So that's actually fascinating. I've got my. Okay, and so then they get pretty much clamped in there. Now these. Oh, upside down. So then these would go on the back of that. Okay. Okay, so these go in there like that. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Crimp terminals. That's a new one for me. I'm not used to having to crimp terminals. I like these wheels though. These wheels are nice. Very nice wheels. I was putting these on just so they don't get separated. Stay on it. So, okay. Oh yeah. This makes. To be fair, I technically made more progress than I did last time. Although, like, yeah, it's one of those things where like not having the right tools is uh is definitely causing a problem. But the chat, make sure I'm not missing anything. I mean, I'm gonna. I appreciate that gyroscope, but I'm gonna get some Torx bits for myself anyway, and go from there. Yeah, these are all very fascinating. Yeah, this is like I'm looking at them. I'm just like, how does that even work? But like honestly, his instructions makes they like looking at his instructions, I can see how that makes sense. Okay, that is really. Yeah, crimp tunnels. That's actually really. I was actually thinking about this a while back. And apparently, I need crimping pliers. Man, I do not have half the tools I need for this job, apparently. So it is. So if you wanted to build one yourself, like I will say that double check and don't make the same mistake as me. Double check what tools you need and whether or not you want to invest in having those tools. So yeah, I don't even have crimping pliers. This is what we call going into a build blind and it biting you in the ass. Oh man. So I deeply apologize to everyone watching the stream. Oh man, Trip, you missed the fun of watching me just stare at this project, going, man, what did I get myself into? Like I want to build one, like, and I'm going to build one. I just need to get the right tools before I pull my hair out. Oh man, oh man. Well, well, see, at least with the Sobek is very straightforward. Like I ran. I'm trying to think. No, I didn't really run into any issues. Like I should have done the Sobek on a live stream because that was a very straightforward build that I had really no trouble building. Like there were several times watching his build video where I was actually getting ahead of him because I was following the flow of the build, if that makes sense. The Sobek is a honestly, I mean, it's not. I'm trying to think of how I want to say it. Again, it's another one you want to make sure you have the right tools because trying to do everything with an Allen key sounds like a nightmare. Which again is why I cut up an Allen key and shoved it into my drill so I could actually use a drill instead of hand screwing everything in with an Allen key, which I believe that's what Trip did, and that sounds terrible. So, but honestly, you guys have to let me know what you think of this setup, for as far as like the camera angle. Because if you guys prefer this, I could deal with the camera being in my face here. Because like this is not too bad. It's almost like close enough to the middle of my perception to where it like I can kind of see past it because it's right there in the middle. As long as it's not too distracting for the head cam that I have on the laptop. Oh well, that's helpful. Yeah, I didn't have that. I had to I had to make my own drill bit for it essentially. But hey, it worked, and honestly, yeah, not bad. I was impressed with how I was expecting it to be more difficult than it was. Um, can I even solder the? Oh man, the diode. That's right. I was wondering what the diode was going to be for, which is this thing, which goes okay. Yeah, I'm probably going to talk to Double Chesky some more, just to try to get a better understanding of what I'm supposed to be doing with these crimps and the diode and everything. Because a lot of this is actually fairly new to me. I'm mostly springers, so dealing with flywheels, I can do basic. I understand the basics. Some of the stuff is definitely on a higher level than I'm used to. Like I haven't even taken the plunge into solenoids yet, which I should. I should do more with flywheels. It's just like flywheelers take so much longer to build. At least for me personally, I find it a lot easier to deal with springers than flywheels. Ooh. So my list of things I need to, because I'm not going to be able to finish this build, unfortunately. So this will be another. We're going to try a third time to build the rail cleaner. But I mean, to me, I'm still kind of happy with the progress I made, just because like I did make some progress, and I was able to use my shell. We'll see if that ends up being a problem later. But overall, I'm pretty happy with it. Uh, yeah, it's definitely going to be an experience for sure. But you get to see me flail my way through. Yeah, I mean that makes sense, Geoscope. I mean it's similar to like the Rapid Strike Pusher. If you wire it backwards, it still works because it's on a rotating mechanism that just goes forward. So okay, well we will try this again next week. Yeah, I should be able to do this again next week. Well, not next Saturday. Saturday is the Nerf war. If I have time, I'll either be doing this on Friday before the war or Sunday after the war. Probably leaning more towards Sunday of next week, just because the night before the war tends to be a little bit more busy. Uh, Actually, I bet you I could now that I think about it, since you mentioned it, Gyroscope. Ta-da! Could have done that from the beginning. There. Now I found the perfect camera angle. Look at that. Oh, man. Oh, boy, oh, boy. Anyways, thank you all for joining me. Yes, well, yeah, I should be able to field the Sobek next week. Get some decent gameplay footage, hopefully, and I can throw that into my video. My current plan is to do a mod overview of the Sobek, not this Monday, but the following Monday. This Monday, I have my Neutrino that I got to do a mod overview on. And then hopefully the week after that, I can do one on the rail cleaner, even though there's already been a couple of videos out. Because I think, did Dr. Flux do a video on the what's the word, rail cleaner, or was it just Wacom's video? Because Wacom did one of beta 1. This is beta 2. So okay, so Domachevsky says he did not. So again, I feel bad for Domachevsky. He's been trying to help me get through this for months, and it's always one thing after the other between not having the right hardware and now I don't have the right tools. Oof. This blaster is just one of those ones that I just feel like I'm never gonna get done. But I'm going to. It's going to happen. Uh, yeah, this. Until I get this done, it's just weighing on me like a heavy burden. It is my curse to bear until I get it complete. Oh man, but thank you all for watching. I'll catch you all. Keep an eye out for my next mod overview on Monday, and I will see you all next week where we continue the build stream of the rail cleaner and hopefully eventually get this thing done. So I will see you all next time.